Welcome to the Pioneer Sideline. I'm your host, Kyle Anthony, and this week we step away from KIAC and Point Park Sports to look at the NCAA tournament and March Madness. So we're going to spend an hour with you guys breaking down your brackets, giving you all the keys you need to know. I'm going to be joined by all our best reporters, but first off, we're going to start with all the pre-production stuff and how seeds got picked and teams that were left out and teams that might have been overseeded. So we're going to go to the coaches' room with Trevor Sheets and Blaine King.
Thanks, Kyle. Coach Sheets.
Yes.
All right. It's March Madness, and we got to break down some top story headlines going into the tournament itself. So let's start off with the Oregon Ducks being the #1 seed in the West region over Michigan State, who's now the 2 seed in the Midwest region. Can you give your thoughts on that?
I don't even know if Oregon should have been a 2 seed. They were the best team in the Pac-12, but the Pac-12 was not very good this year.
No.
They maybe the top 3 seed. Michigan State definitely got screwed over there. They should have been that last 1 seed. But I mean, I think they might be in a little bit better position than that too.
Yeah, I mean, in the Midwest region, we can see that they have, I don't want to say an easy path, but they kind of do have an easy path because I think they match up well if they have to face off against Virginia. I do agree with you, though. I don't see Oregon being a 1 seed, maybe a 2 seed, 3, 4 seed, definitely at best.
I will say, though, even though they are the 1 seed, I have them going pretty far. Mm-hmm. I think that where they're set up in that West region actually plays out pretty nicely for them, and I think they'll have a deep run.
In the original, when the first brackets came out, I had them going far, but I kind of do have them getting upset at one point. Okay. But there are some surprise teams, or
that's nice.
I'm going to just put it, team that is in the tournament itself. And would you want to give your surprise team that you think is in the tournament?
Oh, yeah. Syracuse. Easiest one we could possibly have gone with. I don't understand how the Orange made it in. And every projection I saw, they were the last 4 out, even made the next 4 out. And to be in a 10 seed, not to be in one of these playing games, meant they were securely in the tournament. And I don't understand that outside of maybe the Jim Boeheim factor. Yeah. They gave them the benefit of the doubt when it came to those 9 games where he wasn't coaching, which is completely ridiculous.
Exactly.
They still had to play the exact same teams. It's not like they played more difficult teams during that time frame. Mm-hmm. But they gave them the benefit of the doubt, and teams like Monmouth, who did everything right, did what they thought they were supposed to do.
They just didn't win their conference title, but they lost their conference title by 3 points. And honestly, Monmouth, San Diego State, St. Mary's, Valpo, those are teams right off the top of your head that you're like, how did this team not get in?
Well, the problem is that nobody knows what the selection committee wants because every year the selection committee is different. One year they give scheduling a higher rating. So 1 year it might be BPI. It depends every season. So Monmouth goes out, schedules all these teams. Like, who would have predicted that Georgetown and UCLA would both have really bad seasons?
Yes.
No one could have seen that 2-3 years down the line. So it's kind of hard to do what they ask you to do and then still end up falling short.
Before we toss it back to Kyle, your surprise high seeds and your surprise low seed. I'll give you mine right off the bat. My surprise high seed is Arizona. I think they can be a 7-8 seed, not a 6 seed. And my surprise low seed is St. Joe's. Granted, they are from the A-10, but at an 8 seed, they have a better record than some teams that are ranked above them at 27-7. So I think St. Joe's actually could have been a 6 seed as well.
My surprise high seed is, it's still not high. Oregon State at a 7. They should have been on the same line with Pitt instead of that Syracuse 10, in my opinion. That's my high seed. Low seed, I thought West Virginia kind of got screwed over. Mm-hmm. They should have probably been in Oklahoma's place at that 2 spot. They had a better season, both conference and non-conference.
Right. Okay. Well, Kyle, that is all we have for your top stories going in. It's time for you to get together with some brackets.
Thanks, Blaine and Trevor. Now I'm joined by Josh Group, Paul Daniels, and Luke, and we're going to be going over the South bracket. Guys, we're going to start off with the hardest game. Kansas versus Austin Peeve.
Are we even talking about this? Like, I think it's a.
You're not giving the Governors a chance?
No shot. I don't think I'm gonna ever put a 16 over a 1.
You can't.
No, it's impossible.
Can't.
Yeah.
It almost happened back in like the 80s. Princeton almost did it.
Yeah.
That's an almost. And
Are
how
you
many
putting
years
it
ago?
in?
Okay, it's a long time ago. No, I ain't picking it. All right, so now we're going to go to a game people actually care about.
Oh, man.
We're going to go to the 8-9 game.
Yep.
Big University of Colorado versus the Yukon Huskies. Luke, who you got?
I got Colorado. I mean, the Huskies, they're good, but I don't know. There's something about that Colorado team that just has me feeling they're going to get past that first round. I don't know how much further they're going to go than that, but I got them.
No, you're wrong. It's gonna be
first time
UConn, all
they're
right?
wrong.
All right, and it's the 8-9, and I don't even have UConn going 4. I have, but UConn. There's January, February, and then UConn. They have owned March the past 10 years in college basketball. They'll get the win in the 8-9 matchup versus Colorado.
They're coming off that nice conference tournament run, too. And it's all about getting hot at the right time in March. You put together these games and you get some confidence like UConn has. I think that's all it really takes. And I struggle with this one. Originally I had Colorado, but I'm penciling in UConn to advance.
But Colorado is the 4th-ranked team in the country rebounding. Going against that small lineup at UConn, you're still going to take UConn and try to beat that?
You can't discount momentum heading into the tournament. And this team chucked a 3-quarter heave to tie the game versus Cincinnati, to tie it up, and then ended up winning the game, ended up beating Temple, and then ended up winning the American Championship. So I think you got to pencil them in for one game.
Confidence plays a big factor.
So we got 2-1.
with that.
Luke, I'm sorry. Looks like they don't believe in you. So
You win some, you lose some.
UConn getting penciled. Now we're going to go to everyone's favorite, the 5-12 game. Last year was the first year that a 12 seed didn't win. Are you going to take South Dakota State to beat Maryland, or are you going to ride high with the Terrapins? Josh, you can start us off here.
I again struggle with this one, but I'm going chalk here. I'm taking Maryland. South Dakota State has a chance, and I think this will be one of the closer 5-12 matchups, but I'm going to take Maryland to advance.
I got some 5-12 upset seeds, but this isn't one of them. Melo Trimble, one of the star guards in NCAA, is just going to take over and get the Terrapins the win.
I got to agree. He's been playing great all season. I don't see that stopping now.
All right, now I got to ask you guys a question. You have South Dakota State who's shooting 45% behind the arc, going against a Maryland team that's 3-5 in their last 8 games.
The Jackrabbits, man. Like you said, they're 12-5 matchups, but I can't pick.
But
South
isn't
Dakota
that
State.
the dangerous 12 seed, the one that shoots high percentage from the 3-point line? Isn't that what you have to worry about going against a high-ranked team that's kind of been disappointing all season, that's coming on a cold streak?
Yeah, but this is a tournament dominated by guard play, all right? And we've seen that in years past. And Melo Trimble will get them at least one.
Trimble's played bad for a month and a half.
But you can't discount the fact that Maryland is in a power conference, all right? All right, and they're playing tough teams every time they go out there. South Dakota State is a mid-major school. They won their conference tournament. That's why they're here, and they'll relish the opportunity. But I don't see it happening.
I think Maryland does win. I think close, because I think Rashid Suleiman, him being the veteran who's been here before, is going to save the game for them. So we're going to parallel it in. Me and you guys really start going chalk. All right, now we're going to go with the Cal Golden Bears versus against the Hawaii Fighting Rainbow Warriors in the 4 versus 13 game. Are you guys going to believe in the Rainbow Warriors the same way Trevor does? Or are you guys going with the young Cal Bear team?
Now,
Paul?
the South region is one of the regions where I got most chalk, believe it or not, and I don't usually do that. Jaylen Brown and Tyrone Wallace, though. Those are 2 star guards for the California Bears. I just don't see them losing this game. I don't know much about Hawaii. I'll give you that.
It's been a while since they've been in the tournament. What, 14 years?
Yeah, like they're tough to follow. I mean, we just go in empty-handed because you can't really watch these teams play. But I got to think that those two guards will overpower them in the end.
What do you think, Luke?
These boys, they're just making great points. I can't disagree with them today right now. I mean, other than that first one, but,
The only thing that might get Cal is its offensive rebounding, but still, I'm not taking Hawaii.
You know why I don't like Cal? Because I think for them having at least 3 potential lottery picks, I think 2 of the 3 have been disappointing all year. I think Ivan Rabb's the only one that's really been consistent all year. I mean, you have Ivan Rabb who's shooting 62% versus Jaylen Brown, who in every big game they played, you know what he's done? He's fouled out early. I don't like a team that takes a lot of bad fouls. I don't like a team that doesn't shoot a very high percentage. But I'll go with the youth, but we're going to go back to Trevor at the coach's lounge to see if he feels differently going to his team.
I'm choking on the chalk dust, guys. This is ridiculous. Come on. Maryland and Cal, going back to what we were talking about earlier, 2 of the most overrated teams in this tournament. Both had great starts against crappy non-conference schedules. Both have done nothing in their conference play or in their conference tournament. And you're telling me neither South Dakota State nor Hawaii can put the upset? I actually have both of them in my bracket pulling the upset. I can't believe it. It's unbelievable, Paul. Unbelievable.
I'm sorry, Trevor, but unlike them, I do have Maryland and Cal both advancing. But I do see what you mean. They have been disappointing. So, gentlemen, good job picking those 2 games.
But Rainbow Warriors.
Here, Trevor, I'll get some of the chalk dust off the desk. All right.
Yeah, please.
Now we're going to go to the 6-seed Arizona playing the 11 play-in, which is either going to be Vanderbilt or Wichita State. Does Zona beat the play-in winner, or do you guys see the play-in winner pulling an upset?
If it's Wichita State, I think they give them a run. But I'm taking Arizona either way. And you like Vandy.
I do like Vandy.
like
And I
Vandy?
know they've been
Yeah.
an ugly team all year. But
you got to hope for Vandy to also get past
they're
Wichita
that team
State.
that shoots a bunch of threes and that has strong enough guard play to where if you start playing a run and gun game,
Right.
that's a team I like. I actually like Wichita over Arizona too. I don't buy Arizona. But I'll go to you two to see if you two feel.
There are upsets in my bracket. They're just not coming just quite yet. All right, Arizona's going to win this game, whether they play Wichita or Vanderbilt. I do agree with you. If Wichita advances, they might give them a challenge or so. But let's remember, Arizona, one of the best defense at the 3-point shot, 32% on the year.
I got Wichita State in this one. I mean, I'm not going with Arizona. I got my money on Wichita State coming in.
So, Josh, what was yours?
I have Arizona.
I mean, Wichita is just so good at the line. I mean, I feel in this tournament that's something that comes into play.
See, Luke, as Trevor would say, we're open thinkers. These guys,
I play it safe.
but I guess we'll go right in Zona. All right, now 3-14. We got the U playing the Buffalo Bulls. Do you believe in the U, or are we going for the Bulls?
That's my comment.
Yeah, the U again.
That was easy,
the 14 versus 3, we don't see that too often. We saw it with Iowa State last year.
I don't want to talk about that. Then we'll get to that next.
The state of Iowa. Lovely state of Iowa.
Since we brought up the state of Iowa, that's our next game, 7-10, Iowa versus Temple. And Paul, Josh, as you guys remember, Iowa did us real nice last year. So, guys, are we riding with the Hawkeyes or are we going with the Temple Owls?
Here's the first upset, if you can call it that. I mean, a 10-7. I got Temple in this one. Iowa struggled down the stretch of their season, losing in the first round of the Big Ten tournament to Illinois, so no momentum going in. I got Temple.
Retweet at Paul Daniels.
I'm the opposite there. I'm going Iowa. I feel that loss is going to put a fire under them. They know that they got one more game to make it count. And,
I believe with you guys, but I mean, Iowa's coming off a bad loss to a bad Illinois team, and they lost 4 in a row leading into that.
Right.
So, but we're going to go to the residential Philly expert. We're going to go to Blaine King at the coach's lounge.
Thanks, Kyle. Gentlemen, you made a smart decision picking Temple. Luke, I'm sorry. But Trevor, I want to go back to a pick that they just made, and it was with Arizona and the winner of Vandy or Wichita State. Truthfully, with me, I agree with what Kyle and Luke both said. I think if Wichita beats Vandy, Wichita will beat Arizona.
See, I've made this mistake every year, but I just don't have faith in these play-in teams. They are the play-in teams for a reason. They're not that good. I think Arizona with Ryan Anderson has enough ability to be able to beat either of these teams coming out. It's not as good an Arizona team as we've seen in the past with T.J. McConnell, but they're still good enough to win at least a couple games.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be interesting to see because, like I said, Wichita State and Vandy, they both have the ability to make a deep run into the tournament. But along the lines of Iowa Temple, we learned our lesson last year not to choose an Iowa. A school from Iowa.
And Iowa, just like we were talking about, well, I was saying earlier, Maryland and Cal, another team had great non-conference, great early season, but then it really dropped the ball in conference play. They lost to Illinois in the conference tournament. Illinois. They haven't beaten anyone this year. Yeah. So I usually don't support Philly, but Temple has my support this year.
Yeah. All right, Kyle, you got another Philly school coming up, so what do you and the guys have to say for that?
Well, I'm assuming you guys are all picking Villanova here.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, Paul, I knew that was going to be one of your
Sorry,
ups.
UNC.
All right, now we're going back to the top. KU versus UConn.
This is where the road comes to an end for UConn. At least that's what I'm rooting for. I mean, I'm not a big UConn supporter, but Kansas, the #1 overall seed, one of the most efficient teams, will get the job done against UConn.
Perry Ellis carries Kansas over UConn in this one.
Yeah.
Well, now we go to Maryland and Cal, two of the most disappointing teams all year. Which disappointment are you guys riding with?
I'm going with Cal. I mean, they're a great rebounding team, and I think that's going to come in to be a big factor.
For once, I'm agreeing with Luke, so
Thank you.
that's a surprise.
Yeah, we're unanimous on this one. It's
Wow.
been a couple years since Cal's been in the Big Dance, but they'll survive this. A disappointment be it, but the Sweet 16 is where they get to.
Okay, you guys are all entitled to your own opinion. All right, now we go to Arizona versus Miami. What are you guys doing?
Here's one of my upset picks: Arizona over Miami. Yep,
And
I'm going with them.
I'm agreeing with you
it is.
because I think Miami can be shady at some points, and they don't shoot very well from beyond the arc. Arizona defends well. They rebound well. I think Arizona's going to be able to get past Miami in this round and get to the Sweet 16.
What?
Let's remember now.
Guard play is what gets you further.
Yeah.
Luke, please say you picked Miami.
Yeah, I'll go with Miami, but I mean, I'm just confused because with the Arizona, Wichita State, or the other playing team, they were all against Arizona. Like, they were for it, but they said it was going to be real close, and you think a close game in the first round, still staying in the second?
Sometimes the first game in the tournament can
Well,
be one of your
listen,
tougher
Paul,
matchups.
I'm kind of tired of hearing you. And Trevor, I can feel giving me the stare. So we're going back to the coaches' lounge where T. Sheets has something to say.
Take it away.
I'm just going to echo what Luke said. You guys think that Arizona might not win in that first round against teams that aren't very good. And then you're going to beat a Miami team who did very well in the ACC, which has been looked at as one of the best, if not the best conference in the country. I don't get that. I like Miami a lot. Solid defense, good offense. I mean, not great offense, but good enough offense to really get them through. You guys are killing me. This is only the first region.
I know. I
Come
can't wait
on.
to see the rest. And I agree, Trevor. They do have an adequate offense. They're averaging 75.6 points per game. They're giving up about 66.8 points a game. I honestly do not see Arizona scoring more than 70 points against this Miami team. Granted, Arizona does average over 80 points a game, but they also do give up close to over 70 points a game. I mean, this is not an Arizona team that we're used to seeing. This is not a regular Sean Miller's team. I think we've seen the growth in Miami over the years, and I think this is the year they make a deep run. I can't believe you guys are choosing Arizona over Miami.
Amateur
Well,
hour.
I guess it's time to come back to you, Paul, since you did your little inaudible wow. What's going on, man?
Well, I just feel Arizona's going to go on a run here. I think they're going to take on Miami, win
I'm
the
glad
game.
you're betting
They're one of the top rebounding teams in the country with a plus 9.2 differential.
Guard play.
Yeah.
But hey, I'll ride with you and Josh here. All right,
One more
now
stat.
we got the Battle of Temple, guys.
10th in the ACC in threes.
We're going to Temple. Temple Nova. Are we gonna keep the upset train going, or are we gonna ride with Nova?
It stops right there. I think Nova advances on this one. This is what the NCAA wanted. I give Temple a shot, though, since it's, an inner city rival type thing. But Nova advances.
Josh, is that a no?
I'm saying sorry, Mike Fetchko, but Temple loses and Villanova advances.
I don't know who that dude is, but okay.
I
Luke,
agree
are
with
you?
these two.
I know Blaine
No.
feels. I know Blaine feels strongly about this. Blaine, are you and Trevor going Nova, or are you guys calling an upset?
We're split on this one. I'm choosing Nova. Temple and Nova played throughout the season. Nova won big in that game. I just don't see Temple advancing past Villanova. It will be a good upset if it does happen, but I think Villanova, they're just too complete of a team to lose to this Temple team.
They said the same thing about Nova last year. Nova does not make deep runs in the NCAA tournament. And
Except 1 year.
1 year. I'm
We
not
won't
going to bring
bring
up
that
that year.
No, we won't
But,
bring that up.
Temple, you said that. They played Temple already this year. They lost big, but Temple got to see them firsthand. That means they can game plan for them a lot better because they experienced that team before. I think they'll have a much better result if these two do match up in the third round.
It will be a good matchup. I think Josh Hart, he will definitely come into play for Villanova. And on the side for Temple, I can definitely see somebody like Jalen Bond stepping up when they need something to come up for Temple. But I honestly think this is where the run comes to an end for this Temple Owl team.
I will
next
say
year.
one matchup to look for. You mentioned Jalen Bond, Daniel Chefu underneath. If that ends up happening, it's going to be a great battle between those two.
Oh, yeah, it's going to be cool to see. All right, Kyle, you guys got to start picking for our Sweet 16. Who's advancing to the Elite 8?
All right, now we know how everybody feels about these teams. KU versus Cal.
I got KU.
KU.
Yeah.
KU's
right.
too good. They're not going to stop
So
anytime
we got
soon.
Kansas. Then we have Zona versus Nova. Are you guys riding with your Wildcats, or are you gonna take Blaine City? Paul, you have a smile, so you get to start.
We are riding with the Wildcats once again, and I know I'm going to hear it from over there. but Sean Miller, all right, has made it to the Elite Eight in the past 2 years. All right, why the disgruntled look?
I'm shocked because Josh has the same kind of look going on over
This
there.
is where Arizona's magical run ends. I think Villanova's actually able to survive until the Elite Eight this year because they get Arizona here.
Wait, Josh, I'll stop you there. We're going to throw it over to my friend Blaine, who has something to say to you, Paul.
Okay.
You're just hating. Just
just
because
hating.
Georgetown is not in the tournament, stop hating.
Did I mention Georgetown in this?
No,
We
but
all know
we
you're
all
thinking
know the
it.
truth.
We can hear it through your
Okay.
thoughts. It's ridiculous.
How
But-
Wait a
you-
minute,
you-
didn't you just pick
Wait.
Nova to lose to Temple?
yes.
Yes,
So-
but you know,
so
we
wait a
also
minute.
had Wichita State beating Arizona. How are you going to?
And you mentioned, Paul, the run that Arizona's made the last few years. They had this guy by the name of T.J. McConnell. You
Who's
might have
also
heard
in
of him.
Philadelphia right now?
He's the reason they made. He's one of the big reasons why they made that run the last 2 years. They don't have that kind of a point guard this year. They
No.
don't have that kind of experience in the backcourt. Just,
I
Guys are
can't
killing me.
believe
This,
it.
this team will go
Unbelievable.
as far as Gabe York and Alonzo Trier will take them. I think they get the win. All right,
Look-
this is one of my upsets.
Luke,
okay?
I want you to. Are you going to break the tie here, or are you riding with Paul?
I'm breaking the tie. I'm going with.
You going Nova? or
Yeah, I'm
Zona?
going Nova. I'm going Nova.
All
I
right.
mean, Nova. I mean, what can you say about them? They got a good. They're a well-rounded team. They're 29-5. They're great down low. They block a lot of shots.
This isn't a year where they get upset early, you're saying.
Yeah.
All right, so now everyone just gets a pick here. Kansas, Nova. Paul, we'll start off with you since you lost your Arizona team.
It's okay though because I had Kansas beating Arizona, so I go Kansas.
Kansas.
I have Kansas beating Nova.
All right. Well, it looks like Kansas could be a team going to the Final Four in the South. But we're going to toss over to Blaine and Trevor to see what their final thoughts on our regional picks were.
man, really going out on a limb. 1-2 matchup in the Elite Eight, guys. And the year with such parity. You guys are really going out on a limb with that
They
one.
really
Oh,
are.
Jeez.
The disappointing thing is, from the Sweet 16 on, I actually do have Kansas Cal, I have Wichita State and Nova playing each other. And then I do have Kansas and Nova, and actually I do have Kansas beating Nova in the Elite Eight. But
My bracket looks completely different, except for one thing, Kansas. I do have Kansas making it to the Elite Eight, but I have them losing to Miami, who
Yeah.
I think is going to be the Final Four team out of the South, because honestly, most of these teams aren't that good.
no.
I don't
I
know.
mean, I can see their point. I just don't know. I just don't know why Arizona's not making a deep run.
No.
That's
No,
one.
they're not.
And another thing with the Colorado-UConn matchup, I think Colorado edges out UConn. UConn, yes, they are hot, but I think Colorado, throughout the season, you've seen the competition Colorado has gone up against. They've beaten teams like Oregon, Oregon State, Arizona, Utah, Gonzaga. They lost to Iowa State University, SMU, Cal, Utah, and USC. But I think Colorado, they make a deep run, semi-deep run, possibly potentially to the elite, the Sweet 16, actually, excuse me. But I think that they could pressure Kansas if they get past UConn.
See, we differ on this one. I like UConn a lot. 4 guards, all average double figures in scoring, led by Sean Miller with 17.8 points per game. And like Paul mentioned, you can't count out UConn. They are them and Michigan State. Those 2 teams every year in March.
Wichita.
And Wichita to a certain
yeah,
extent. You can't ever count those teams out. Granted, I counted out Wichita, but that's a whole different thing.
All right. Kyle, do you have anything else to wrap up our South region?
No, I won't make any objections. I'll let everything stay how it is. Even though I do kind of agree with the Miami pick, I'll ride with KU. So next we'll move on to the West. We'll have a whole new crew of reporters. Stay tuned.